Comedy Film Nerds Podcast.
Trailer, Ready Player One looks really cool.
Fantastic. I haven't read the book, and this looks awesome.
Now, I will say this. The book, it was one of those few books that just, when it was done, I was really sorry that it was over. It had me from page one, and I read through it, and I read some of the reviews, and I felt this exact same way. I felt like the book was written just for me, someone who grew up in the 80s and watched these movies and played with these toys and went to arcades and threw quarters and, Miss Pac-Man, and also played Dungeons and Dragons and went through dungeon manuals. Now, Aaron, in the book, they actually go through a dungeon module called Tomb of Horrors from Dungeons and Dragons. You remember that one?
No, I never.
You never did Dungeons and Dragons?
D&D, no.
So
I played sports in high school.
What they Okay, you're one of those guys. All right.
Yeah, Chris. So did I. I didn't play D&D
I
either.
don't know what you guys don't know what you're missing. Rolling a 20-sided die with your friends on the weekend and eating chips. So
here I was working out, leaving my blood on the field.
So, you roll a saving throw, you leave your blood with a dragon. So what this book is, the thing about this book is, however, is that, at first I was surprised when it got announced because of the rights issues that would happen, because to acquire all the things that are in the book would be virtually impossible. Everything from the classic video games to rights to the movie War Games to Ultraman to anything else that was in this, Dungeons and Dragons, TSR, all those things. So from watching the trailer, I feel like what they did is they kind of chose which kind of pop culture things they were going to use, and I think a fair amount of them came from the Warner Brothers libraries. They didn't have to go that far for for some rights issues.
I mean, it's a Warner Brothers movie. They still have the DeLorean.
The Warner Brothers movies, they have the DeLorean. There was Freddy Krueger. There was
Giant.
They have Iron Giant, but they also have all of the DC catalog because Warner
Well,
Brothers.
we see Iron Giant and Freddy Krueger in the trailer.
Yeah, and you also see Deadpool walk by too.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Yeah. He walks by like when they're in the club. He walks by. So there's a lot to like, and what I think will happen is there'll be a lot of like pop culture stuff in there, but it's not going to be everything from the book because that would be impossible to get through with all the lawyers. And here's the thing: when I heard it announced, I was like, well, God, who's going to be able to put this together? Steven Spielberg. He's the one director that I think can really pull this off.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a.
Thank Christ it wasn't Michael Bay.
That would have been awful.
I know, I mean.
Ernie Klein, I remember him saying in an interview, saying they asked him when they bought the film rights. The film rights were bought years ago.
Didn't Spielberg snatch this up a long time ago? Or?
No, what happened is they had him make a list of directors that he would want to make the movie, and he said he never put Spielberg on the list because he thought that would be impossible to get him. And turns out, no, it wasn't. So
Wow.
he got him.
And Spielberg's an avid video gamer too.
Yes.
He's always at E3 and with his kids, so he's this is right up his alley.
I mean, this is like a match made in heaven. It really is. He's the perfect director for this material. And judging from the trailer, I'm really excited to see this movie.
It looks fantastic. Having
and like I said, I really recommend reading the book too, especially if you grew up in the 80s.
Yeah, and I feel like I watched the trailer, and this isn't a criticism. This is a good thing. I feel like I'm going to be really bummed. This movie seems very dystopian, and very sort of, prescient. We're there, right? Where people just don't want to deal with the reality, so they'd rather go into video games and VR or whatever.
Well, to give you an idea of the story, because you don't get an idea of the story at all from the trailer, is what it is the creator who set up the Oasis. He set up a game inside the system somewhere. But people use the Oasis for everything. It's not just for recreation.
Yeah, you go to school there.
You go to school there, everything. That's where you live your life. You work through there. Everything goes through there. So the creator of it, before he died, set up a contest. If someone could, it was basically a scavenger hunt through the Oasis. If you found these certain keys, it was like a video game, and you unlock these certain levels, then the Oasis would actually get willed to you. You would own it. You would own the whole thing.
Wow.
So what happens is you've got, the quote evil corporations who are like paying all these gamers to try to find it, and then no one found anything for a long time, and then all of a sudden one of the keys gets found, and then there's like a race to try to find out,
Because
to win.
once you find a key, everyone else kind of figures out how you did it.
Right. So then it's so the story is like him, basically our hero, trying to beat the evil corporation and winning the game.
Oh,
so
fantastic.
it'll be really cool, a really fun story, and I'm really looking forward to the movie.
All right.
All right. Next trailer we saw was Suburbicon. This trailer, I'll tell you, I had mixed feelings about this trailer. Now, as I'm watching it, I was thinking, well, the Coen brothers have to be involved in this somehow, because it has a Coen brothers feel.
And they are.
And they wrote it. However, they didn't direct it. George Clooney directed it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm watching it, and I'm thinking, you know what? That's what's off about it. I feel like it's George Clooney trying to direct a Coen brothers movie. That's what it felt like. It felt like just like almost like, well, it's kind of missing that Coen brothers magic, that that unquantifiable thing that makes their movies their movies. So I'm hoping, and again, this might be just the way the trailer was cut. So I'm hoping we see a little bit more, and the movie is a little bit more than we saw in the trailer, because the trailer just felt really uneven and like a Coen brothers imitation.
I think I had a similar reaction.
Mm-hmm.
I want to like this movie. I like everybody involved.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I like the premise of a suburban guy that gets mixed up with the mob, who kind of starts fighting back, and then all hell breaks loose.
Yes. Great. And it's set in the 50s or 60s?
Somewhere in there.
Somewhere there,
Somewhere late 50s, early 60s.
Mm-hmm.
But I felt the same way. Like, am I watching somebody's idea of a Coen brothers movie?
Right. That's what it felt like.
Versus an actual one. So I don't know. I'm really... I think George Clooney's a good director. I mean, I like some of the stuff he's directed for sure. So I'm not going to write it off, but I am... And like you say, it might just have been the trailer.
Right.
They might have just cut the trailer wrong.
Right.
So I don't know.
Where that's never happened before.
Never. It's never happened. So, yeah. Too good. I'm really excited for Ready Player One. Suburbicon.
Yes. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.